was born in Germany in 1958. He has a Bachelor of Health Science in acupuncture and diplomas in Oriental massage and so forth. He began working as a therapist in 1991 and qualified as a doctor of Chinese medicine and lectured in traditional Chinese medicine for 10 years. I actually met Jost when I was a student at the Australian College of Natural Medicine, studying the foundations of traditional Chinese medicine, remedial therapies, and nutrition. And Jost has operated and founded health centers and worked all over the place with international celebrity clients and so forth. He's done an amazing job and has an incredible background, including a very intensive background in competitive skiing and bodybuilding and triathlon and fitness and Ironman training. But it was when Jost really discovered Kung Fu and Tai Chi that he realized that fitness is only a part of the equation, that vitality is the other part of the equation. And that led to decades of more research in how to live and how to use nutritional supplements and optimal diet and therapeutic exercise and lifting weights, martial arts, meditation, Tai Chi and yoga, all to make you feel good. And so that's pretty amazing. And Jost then went on and he added the 24-hour movement of Qi, the traditional Chinese medicine body clock. And that connects what we should be doing from day-to-day activities in our natural cycles. And he developed his Qi cycle lifestyle, and that is the ultimate in lifestyle medicine. It's founded on thousands of years of traditional Chinese medicine and over 30 years of Jost's academic research and practical observations from living it. Jost is a dynamic and inspiring speaker, and he's renowned for delivering inventive and entertaining presentations on lifestyle medicine. So it is a pleasure to have Jost on the call. He's also the author of several books and even some DVDs and is a wealth of knowledge. So today we are talking about turning heaviness into hope. And the wonderful Jost is on the call. Welcome, Jost. Good morning. How are you today?
Good. Yeah.
Fantastic. It's great to have you on the call again. Another beautiful week in here in Southeast Queensland, Australia.
Yeah, let's hope that Zoom works today.
Yeah, I know. So I did have to do a random update of Zoom, which I've never done before. It was like it updated it in a completely different way and actually took my old version of Zoom off my computer and reinstalled a new one. So anyway, I'm sure Zoom is trying to cope with a huge demand as and I know in March and April, it had 300 million new users on Zoom alone. So yeah, everyone's going digital, man, virtual.
Yeah. unless you go Skype. I do Skype because hardly anyone is using Skype anymore.
Yeah, so, that's right. That's right. Yeah, Skype's probably
so easy to get on. It's
great. Yeah. So great to have you back again. Last week was a really amazing conversation about are you yin or are you yang. That certainly got people stimulated some thought. And so what was on your mind about what you wanted to share with us with heaviness into hope? That sounds very contemporary and appropriate for the current situation in the world.
Yes, I mean, this is where Chinese medicine, once again, plays an important part because Chinese medicine addresses everything from within. Of course, we are observing a massive exterior oppression. Okay, so you could say that there's heavy clouds on the economy, in health, in people's attitude. So no one really knows what's going on, where we're moving towards. One part of the planet is scared about a second wave. The other part of the planet doesn't believe in the virus at all. So it's some people say it's going to be everyone, 2 million, 10 million people will die. And other people say it's not even a flu-like symptom. So we got an incredible clash. And as a result of that is people don't trust each other anymore very much. So our behavior is changed forever. If you believe in COVID or if you don't, whatever way, our behavior is fundamentally changed. For example, if you touch a surface these days, even if you don't believe that there's a virus sticking on it, you still are conscious about that maybe something will happen. So, and that means unconsciously we are affected by a lot of impacts now that prior to COVID we didn't have. And that impacts our psychology. So Chinese medicine always states that psychology and medicine is one. So we always address the psychology from within. Instead of trying to change the outer, we're going first of all into the inner. And as we know, observing lots of heaviness in the environment, like the economy, health, people, interaction, not trusting each other. As a result of that it's very clouded. And as a result of that life feels dense. It hasn't got that uplifted feel. It's not as easygoing as what it used to be. So we're feeling more densed in, more compressed in our awareness. So before COVID, it was more uplifting, but now it's more condensed.
Mm-hmm.
So Chinese medicine understands once again that there is an elemental affiliation, an organ affiliation. And the element affected by density, or that represents density is the metal element. And the organs affiliated with metal are large intestine and lung. So and hope is a result of breaking through density so we can see the horizon again. And from that perspective, hope is affiliated with lung and large intestine and with the metal element. So in the metal element also represents clouds. So if there's heavy clouds, it's metal. And behind the clouds is always the big wide blue sky. And the wide blue sky, when we look at it, it gives us hope. We're moving towards. And so from that perspective, hope is affiliated with moving towards something. So if we can't move towards something anymore, that translates as not having hope anymore. So when we say we lose hope, it means we're not moving towards something that is worthwhile. We're going within. So hope and depression are not the same. They are totally different things. Hope is large intestine metal. Depression is more fire element, heart, and wood and liver. So hope is something that we need to have, because if we don't have hope, important bodily functions aren't activated and it will lead to illness. Having hope always means we will improve our situation, which is why good doctors or surgeons always evoke hope in patients, because then you activate the healing. So if we have hope about the economy, we automatically see we're moving towards something, we see something, we make something happen. If we don't have hope, then we don't make things happen. Mm-hmm. And the same thing applies to the body. If we don't have hope about our symptoms, we'll get very sick. If we have hope, we're moving towards health. Yes? So Chinese medicine regulates hope via the metal element, which then controls movement, the movement towards. So before I get into this, what really the medicine states about hope, we need to say that in Chinese medicine and in all mysticals and spiritual traditions, this planet Earth is already considered as a very dense reality in the first place. Mm-hmm. So in the mystical traditions, like the Tibetan Buddhism or Taoist philosophy, there are several layers of realities in terms of density. They start at 1 and go right up to level 9. Level 9 is hardly any density. Everything's open, everything's free. Mm-hmm. Lowest density is like the rock, the mineral kingdom. It's like a rock. Planet Earth, according to the mystical traditions, is on level 4 in terms of density. So it means incarnating into this planet always is a challenge, because we always have to deal with a certain amount of density that wants to tie us down. So you could say, from a Chinese medicine perspective, it is our job to transform this density in order to elevate the soul towards the next level. So the density gets lesser and lesser. Eventually, our awareness, our consciousness is on level 9, where it's all free. We are one with spirit. Mm-hmm. So if we don't transform this experience of density, we get more and more tied down into the lower levels, which is 3 and level 2. So it means if we start resisting life and become angry and start harming others, we increase our density and moving down to level 3. If we then continue to be grumpy and cranky and aggressive and do the wrong things, we eventually, the consciousness sinks into level 2. So this is where the Hindu philosophy talks about if we do the wrong things, we incarnate into a rock. That what it basically means is if we do wrong things, we enhance the intensity, we becoming more dense. Yes. Wow. So that means it will happen within our lifetime. So you have, obviously, if we die while being dense, we don't know exactly what that means in terms of rebirth. So we can't go there because we don't have recollections about that.
You haven't experienced that?
Yeah.
Or able to recall it?
Yeah, the Asians would say that you would be incarnated, or you would be born into a reality which is level density 3 or 2 or even 1, which is like born into a rock, into a planet, into a reality that just resembles just like a rock. Can you imagine being there? There's a lot of whinging going on there.
A lot of whinging, yeah. Yeah, life's a bit plain. I wish you could hurry up and move along.
Yeah, constant lockdown, like COVID non-stop, 24/7. Yeah. So obviously, the aim is to understand that being here already is a challenge. Yes. Mm-hmm. So we can't really look at there's something wrong with this. It is part of being this dimension. It is dense. So therefore, in the Chinese philosophy and Chinese medicine, our aim is to elevate our consciousness in order to transform this density, to break through this density, to go higher. Mm-hmm. That's the aim of the spiritual practices. So that's the aim of, like all the Taoists do martial art, that break bricks in order to break density. We don't apply the martial art on people because the Taoists seek peace, but we want to break through density. That's why we learn the training, so that we break the bricks of density, so we start elevating our consciousness to the higher level. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So when you feel really healthy, like you feel light.
Yes, absolutely. Every time you break through bricks, when you just do martial art training, when you do Kung Fu training, you get freer. Your awareness frees yourself up and people aren't an issue anymore. You don't get annoyed about little things because your awareness is on a level 5 or level 6 in terms of lower density. So that means you have more freedom in terms of experiencing yourself rather than getting tied up in the obstruction and the density and getting completely pulled down into the lower realms, and then really everything is utterly annoying.
Like I've said before, like you recommended transcendental meditation on one of the early calls, and I've implemented that in the last few weeks, and it's been amazing. And one of the things that I really noticed is a spaciousness in my mind.
Spaciousness.
Yeah, spaciousness is the word. Like there's more space in my mind, and definitely more creativity. I started, like I don't usually, prior to TM, I wasn't remembering my dreams like maybe once a month. And it's like I'm waking up conscious of having dreams. So that my thoughts have definitely changed there. And creativity, like wanting to do stuff and be more creative, which has been really interesting. But that would be the word. There's more spaciousness in my thoughts. And I'm not like triggered and pulled down into a heavy emotion so easy. It kind of just rolls off.
Not getting tied down in density.
Yeah.
You're lifting up. Yes. So this is obviously, that's why the practice is essential. It's like everyone needs to do a practice, otherwise life is too unbearable.
Yes, it comes to battle.
Yeah. I mean, you only have to go on the home feed of social media, and it's amazing how much density comes at you. Yeah. And that's why I want to show today some pressure points. Every time you go on social media and you see a post that wants to tie you into density, do a pressure point move so that you free the lung, so you're not getting tied down. Yes. So this is obviously the same with news. News is designed to get you into the lower parts of the density. They don't talk good news that say how great everything is, how amazing is that we're just moving up to a higher level. You know, it's all about, there could be the second wave, maybe the third wave, you know.
Yeah.
There will be definitely a second and a third wave, and so on. So obviously all that constricts your energy field.
Yeah.
Yes?
Even
If
your breathing.
not, it's irrelevant if COVID is going on. It's irrelevant. It's about how it impacts on us. Because if we get constricted by it, we will not be of use and help to others.
Yeah.
Because that means we get heavy, and now we're going to tie every other people down.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like we in the ocean, and every time you get caught up you get impacted by the news, you get heavy, and now you're going to hold on to others, and you also make them sink.
Yeah. I find like watching the news, like hearing the news, even I notice my breath gets shallower. Like, I
Yes.
start to get into that fight and flight stress breathing.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm talking about for you today. I want to show some breathing techniques also.
Awesome.
So we've got to be really aware that we are challenged at the moment with high level of density. Yeah, that's what it comes down to. I don't want to call it COVID. I don't want to call it name because it's irrelevant, because after COVID, there will be something else that will impact on us. It's not going to stop. It's the nature of this physical world to all the time present us with density. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Next year it's going to be something different. Yes.
Yeah.
We can't eradicate density unless we elevate the inner consciousness. We have to elevate ourselves. Then we will have no problems. Then it will be fine. Yes.
Yeah, and you can have two people in the same street or the same house, but the way they cope with it and the impact of the situation on them could be completely different. One could be feeling very dense, and the other could be feeling very light.
So the organ affected by density is lung. And the lung is the organ that is your intermediate organ. That is your communication agent with the outer world. Your lung is the first impact. I talk about it in my book, Clock Onto Health. And so it's fully described what the lung does. But the lung is your first impact, is your contact with reality. And how you breathe in and how you breathe out then determines the psychology that develops what picture you have about the world that you're contacting with. Yes. Mm-hmm. Now, your lung determines how you perceive the world. That's how we breathe is how we perceive the world. So you could say, if you know how to breathe, you will perceive a peaceful world. If you don't know how to breathe, you will perceive a very troubled world. So, because what happens is the lung is now the lung, which is intermediate organ. If the lung starts shutting down, you start feeling trouble. It's like when you can't breathe, you're sensing trouble. That's anxiety. So anxiety is affiliated with the lung in that regard. Yes. So if the impact of the outer world, the density impacts on the lungs will start shutting down. If the lungs start shutting down, they can't open up to the meridians. So now Qi can't flow. And now the body, now the signal going to the brain and to the frontal cortex telling you who you are is, I am in trouble. The outer is in trouble. So now I believe everything is in trouble. I get into panic mode. Yeah. But because the lungs are open up to all the flow of the qis of the organs, therefore the lung is directly connected with having hope of moving through this.
Yep.
So if we are impacted by heavy news that the economy is going to collapse, that's going to be a new depression, Great Depression like 1932. It's amazing how many Facebook posts now preparing people for the Great Depression.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's like a lot of posts coming up, and obviously the idea is immediately cut off, use lung training. So because if everyone starts to believe it, we're going to make it happen.
Yeah.
And if you obviously open up and free the lung, we see options, we see infinite options, we see new ways how to deal with that. because there will be a new trend, there will be something new as a result. It's an endless transformation. And so that means we will see something new to do, which then will generate a new economy. Yeah.
Yep.
So obviously, so that's obviously the first thing is that we need to understand if we are impacted by the news, lungs shut down. Mm-hmm. Lungs shut down means I don't have hope. If I don't have hope, I start, my psychological profile is I believe what I see. And if I believe what I see, I make my reality. And obviously now I'm going to panic. That means I'm going to create a ripple and a vibration which now radiates, and it needs others to be on board, because otherwise I'm the only one who feels it. I need others. I need the support. So now we're going to spread it. Yes. Yep. So the biggest job we can do today is like de-obstructing the lung meridian every day, so we don't spread doom and gloom messages. That's
our responsibility.
That's everyone's responsibility. If suddenly everyone spreads messages about what we can do, the new ideas, and how we're going to move towards these new ideas and this new, then everything is changing. Yes. So that's obviously the first thing, is to understand that if the lungs shut down, we don't have hope. If the lungs open up, we automatically feel hope. Yeah. So the lungs govern qi, and the lungs, that means the lungs are directly involved with the process of generating qi. Firstly, by the respiration, we breathe in and we breathe out, but also by letting the food extract, the qi from the food that gets sent up from the spleen to combine in the lung to produce qi. So if the lung is open, everything's flowing freely. That means the air is exchanged between that what is dirty air to let in the new, but at the same time also to bring good food nutrients to combine with the qi from the air to provide us with qi. So if that's all functioning well, we have good qi. And if the qi is good, we have hope. If the qi is weak, we don't have hope. That's what it is. If the qi gets weak, we don't have hope. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the next thing is that the lung is involved with the descending function. The lung is designed to bring the qi that we receive all the way down into the body. And as it descends it into the body, it connects it to the root, to the sacrum. And then the whole breathing, as I talked about in one of the first sessions, the whole breathing becomes deep. So if lung is harmed or shutting down due to the news and we can't combat, we can't free the blockages, what happens is now the lung can't participate in the descending function of the qi. And now the qi becomes stuck, and it causes stuffiness, breathlessness, and as a result of that is we don't have hope. So that's like where we can immediately engage with, like all the time being aware that we need to breathe deeply. The next thing is that the lung is connected to the node. It opens in the node. And correct breathing is always breathe in by the node, breathe out by the node. So node breathing benefits the lung. So if you do mouth breathing, or when we breathe through the mouth, we don't promote hope. We actually promote the shutting down of the lung. Okay, this is where Western sciences and Chinese medicine both agree that the mouth is not designed for breathing. Yeah. The nose is designed for breathing. We have the nose to breathe and the mouth to eat, to speak, and to kiss. Yeah. All the good things, yeah? Yeah. But we're not to breathe. We can't breathe through the mouth. So if you start breathing through the mouth, we actually obstructing the lung meridian. If we start breathing through the mouth, you're obstructing the lung meridian, the descending function of the lung is impaired. So now the breathing becomes shallow. As the breathing becomes shallow, we lose hope. That's how simple it is. Just by understanding to breathe all the time through the nose and then to sink all the chi into the ground, into the sacrum, we automatically free the lung and we automatically promote hope rather than getting caught up in the density. So what nose breathing looks like is that we breathe in through the nose slowly, and as soon as we finish the inhale, we immediately go into exhale and breathing out slowly. Then once we reach the exhale, we hold it for a short while before we breathe back in again. The reason why we hold on the exhale is to utilize the CO2, the carbon dioxide, completely. That means the chi absorption through all the meridian now opens up. The chi is distributed to every meridian. The lung is opened up. There will be no stuffiness. There will be no breathlessness. And there will be hope. That's how simple it is. So when you watch, when you go into social media, we actually need to constantly be aware that we're breathing through our nose, not the mouth. That's like it. And obviously all this stuff, these moving the chi through the meridians, all that, that's why the Redox is so important. Because Redox works via the mitochondria. And it opens up the cellular communication, and it makes sure that the chi is flowing through every part of the meridian. That's why it's so healthy. That's why Redox or ASEA is like one of the most important supplements at this time. It's like, in Chinese medicine, we always say, the universe will not provide a problem without a solution. The universe provides the density. We need to transform the density in rising our awareness. But it gives us herbs. It gives us supplements. It gives us Chinese practices. It gives us breathing techniques. It gives us yoga. It gives us Tai Chi and meditation. And it gives us ASEA, Redox. Yes? Yep. So all this is given to us so that we can transform and become of use to others. If we take the right supplements, if we take ASEA, if we take Chinese herbs, we actually contribute to peace. So it's not a selfish action to take supplements, it's a compassionate action.
Yeah, I love that flip on its head. Yeah. I think a lot of people, I don't know, but I kind of grew up with a bit of a conditioning about, selfishness, like not to be selfish. But then all the ancient philosophies that I've looked at is you got to fill your own cup. And it's the overflowing. Once you have the prosperity, the abundance, the excess energy of the cup overflowing, that's the bit you be generous with. But if you're coming from an empty cup, you're actually coming from scarcity. And that's, you've got an agenda there. It's not healthy. So yeah, I love that.
Yeah, if the world impacts on you and it bogs you down and you lower your awareness into the lower density levels, you're not helpful to others. You can completely work all day to help others, but your awareness is actually on a lower density. So you're actually pulling people down.
Yeah. No person is an island. We're all connected.
I've seen when I worked in family service, social work back in the 80s. I've seen a lot of people like that. They were driven by the need to help, but they were grumpy people. They actually put everyone down rather than uplifting.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So they told everyone, I'm so caring, I want to help everyone, and all what I get is just everyone fucks me over.
Yeah, and who's the common denominator? They are.
Yeah. So the most help we can have, if our awareness is on a higher level, automatically we lift others. Yes. So you're going through a shopping center and you meet someone and you say hi and you're paying your bill, whatever. You automatically uplift people. You don't even know that you help. That's the highest form of compassion. To be that your awareness is on a higher level, automatically you will lift people. Yeah. So this is where Chinese medicine, Chinese herbs, and ASEA is so important. Yeah, because the more you take those substances, the more your awareness is moving up, your density is going down, and you're lifting yourself up. The more naturally you become compassionate to others. You want naturally to be, you're naturally considering of others.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you're not doing something because of you have to be good.
Mm.
If your awareness is moving up and your density is not in the lower level, if you're in a higher level, you are naturally driven to share with others how to get there.
Yeah, to want to help. Exactly.
Yeah, it's like the good old days when you have a really good drug. The first thing what you do is you're going to call your friends. Man, you've got to get into this gear. It's awesome.
When you're a teenager.
Same thing. You want to share with others. You've got to get into this. Come on, let's get high. Yeah. And it's the same thing. So once we get on the gear, I mean, with ASEA and Chinese medicine, what happens is we're lifting, we're moving, we're transcending this density, and we're transforming the heaviness and we're going light. And automatically, other people they want to seek us. They want to be with us.
Yeah.
It works like that all the
It's
time.
that synchronicity when your vibration's amazing and you're just animating that positivity. People just come to you. Doors open. You meet people that you just don't expect to meet.
Yeah. If you build your chi, if you take lots of supplements and you get really healthy, people want to be around you.
Yeah.
Because you always have something positive to say. You always got new ideas. Hey, let's focus on this. You always see the creative element of an environment, of a situation. You don't go, this is stupid.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
You're not putting it down because this is awesome. Yeah, I like this. I want to get engaged with it. Come on, let's do this. I got some good ideas. I can help you with this. Yeah. So this is obviously where we need to understand the lung is crucial in order to have an uplifted experience of our world.
Yeah.
And that's simply regulated by all the chi moving freely through the body, which is what the job of the lung is. So obviously it does it in conjunction with the spleen. And the spleen, as I said before and so many times, the spleen is mitochondria from a Western perspective. The action of the spleen in Chinese medicine is similar to what we in the Western world would call the mitochondria. And obviously this is where ASEA is coming into. So this is why it enhances performance abilities in athletes, because it works via spleen and then benefits the lung. That's why you're breathing deeper. Because the first what you notice when you take ASEA, your breathing is going deeper. It's the first thing. You take it, whoa, it opens it up. So if you now understand more about the nose breathing and you understand more how to transcend your awareness into the lower part of the body, the more you enhance. Yes, that's what I'm saying, everyone. With ASEA, we supplement the Chinese herbs. If you know the tricks how to enhance those substances, you multiply the effect by algorithmic level of 10 by the power of 10, whatever. It goes high. It goes very, very high. That's where you can break through on a level where even medication and drugs can't reach you. Yes, I've seen this. I've seen this with the right breathing techniques, with the right Qigong practices, and then with correct Redox signaling and ASEA and Chinese herbs. My God, you're breaking through. You're even leaving behind drugs like cocaine and methamphetamine. You go far beyond. So our body is designed to develop and generate superpowers. As I said in the beginning, we are level 4 in terms of the dimensions, in terms of density. There's 9 levels where we need to move towards up to. We're only at the beginning. Every time we're getting like a cosmic experience about, wow, this world is awesome. We are only at level 4. Can you imagine once we're on level 5 and level 6 and level 7, and my God, it's just gonna, it's an incredible, once you realize, that's why TM is so important, because it opens you up to the vastness of opportunities and possibilities of what this universe is awaiting for us. Yes, we are only the beginning of something. I mean, we just got to be aware, and we are destined to managing big spaceships and running big universes, and it's an awesome future. It's incredible. The path is incredible, yeah. And but if your lung is blocked, all what you see is negative news, and you can't see the incredible power of creation. What the first thing that happens to the breath when you come to life? You breathe. The breath opens up to this world. So if you control your breath, you control creation.
Yeah. Tip 1 for COVID: turn the news off.
So that's why pressure points. And I did a video on this yesterday on Facebook. So if you don't come completely today, go on my Facebook or Instagram page, and it's called the Hope Link.
The Hope Link, awesome.
The Hope Link, and the Hope Link is about what it is. We're trying to activate lung meridian and large intestine meridian.
Okay.
Because if you have those meridians open, you automatically, your breathing is deep, everything is free, and now you're opening up to new potential. You have hope. If large intestine and lung are obstructed, that translates as not having hope. So the large intestine meridian starts at the index finger. The lung meridian is at the lung. The point we're going to focus on is large intestine 4, which is between the index finger and the thumb, right there in the flesh. So we're going to take the index finger and the thumb. So we're going to put index finger on column 4 of one hand, the thumb below, holding it, and then the thumb on the other side. And so you got like a link. Yeah. Like a link. It's on the video, link. Now you're holding it, and obviously I can't show that unless I have to stand up, but it's in the video. You're standing up, you're holding it in front of your belly, and now you put all your awareness into your heart chakra point, which is REN 17. It's right in the middle of your chest. Yeah. So that's the lung point also that opens up the lung. So that's the point that when we free, like in asthma and breathing problems, breathlessness, stuffiness. So we're gonna tap this point. And so we're gonna put our awareness on this point, REN 17, and then now it doesn't depend if you're female or male. That's irrelevant. I just saw a comment there. We're all in the same boat. It's about the spirit, the soul. So all connect to that link. Put your awareness into the REN 17. Breathe from there, and then you breathe in through the nose and out. And you're holding the awareness in your chest while pressing firmly on column 4, which is between the large intestine. The column 4 point, which you're pressing with the index finger and your thumb. And you're really putting all your awareness into the REN 17 point. So you breathe in for a few times with it, and you will notice automatically it will make your breathing clear. It clears up your breathing. And that means it frees up the chi in the lung and large intestine meridian. Okay. So it's on my Facebook page, the video, so have a look at it. This is a good one to do every time when you go on social media or when you watch the news. Do the Hope Link. So what we're doing here, the aim is to prevent the external world, which resonates with level 4 in terms of density, to impact on ours to go into density 3 or 2. That's why we're trying to prevent the sinking of our awareness into the lower realms. That's the danger of news. That's the danger of social media. That's the danger of people will panic, that tie you down. People will panic, will get you down. Yeah. Panic is lung. So when your lung meridian is obstructed, you panic. If someone puts a noose around your neck and you hang on the neck, you panic. You can't just say, look, mate, it's all in your head. Yeah. It's a definite fact that your lung meridian is obstructed and the chi is not flowing freely, which is why it will lead to death. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the panic is the signal in order for you to stop. And that's the same thing. So every time you feel like a downward motion, be aware it's obstructing the lung meridian. Yeah. So have a shot of ASEA.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Like every 2 hours, before you watch social media, have like 30 ml of ASEA. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you watch Channel 9 News, have at least 120 milliliters of ASEA. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot more damaging.
A lot more damage. It requires a lot of ASEA.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
I'm getting your link, so I'll pop that in the chat box for your Facebook page, The Lifestyle Medicine Man, and some of your other links that we normally post in there as well with your books and your drug rehab stuff and all of that. So if anyone's looking for it, check in the chat box, and that's where your Facebook page is. That's got got all of the info for that breathing technique, the Hope link. That's awesome. There was a question about Lisa said that told by a client that they feel dizzy when practicing the breathing technique. Any idea what that would be?
Yeah, the dizziness means the chi is not transcending into the lower part. That means it's shallow breathing. It's not deeting. It's not. So as soon as we go into deep breathing and all the way up, that means you actually open up the flow. Unless it's a dizziness because it releases toxins. That's a different thing.
Yeah.
The dizziness can be because of the breathing isn't taken all the way down to the sacrum, or it's because it releases toxins. So first thing, that's why we need to really, like the most important skill we need to learn is how to breathe. And you will be amazed once you start once you develop the habit of breathing through the nose, you will realize how many people breathe through the mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
And most of a lot of research I've done on that, like depression, anxiety. If you learn the proper breathing techniques, depression, anxiety will be dealt with by 40, 50, 60, up to 70%. Because it's in Chinese medicine, it's an organ function that is impaired. Yeah? It's a signal telling you you're not moving chi through the body. And once you understand how to free the blockages, then obviously automatically the psychological state comes in accord with that. If the chi flows freely, you always feel good. That's how it is. For most people, the highest experience of chi flow is the onset of orgasm. That feels good. There's no people, you can't argue about that. It's a definite experience of something that feels good. And that means the chi is flowing freely. Yes. So, which is why in Chinese medicine, they say it's healthy because you breathe. Afterwards, you feel good, you feel cleared, you feel great. Unless you had sex with the wrong person, that's a different story.
Yeah, that's another webinar. Yeah, that's right. That's a great example. You feel good, you're getting the chi flowing.
Cleared, you feel cleared. Yeah, and obviously that's what chi techniques do. Yeah, that's why the monks can sustain of sex, because they know the techniques. Yeah, because they can free the body of all those blockages. And that's the aim. Like a good sex moves all the blockages. Good breathing techniques move all the blockages. Tai Chi moves blockages. A Hope link moves blockages. And all kind of tapping. And I talk about more and more tapping in the next sessions, because I've got like probably 3,000 tapping methods under my belt. And so for every time I feel a symptom, I know what to do in order to correct it. Yeah. So eventually you will become so efficient that every time you have a symptom, it's liver, move it through. Do a certain move, breathing, bang, it's gone.
Yeah, you get aware and you get the tools so you can deal with it.
Really profound. It's absolutely profound. That's why I always talk about in my book, Clock Onto Health, like in large intestine chapter, because you want to work with the large intestine. Yeah. Because large intestine, if you know how to work with your symptoms, you become free. You become free. And I experienced so many symptoms in my time, from arthritis to all kind of other shit. So I've been through most of the symptoms. I hear all the time, look, mate, you don't have the problems that I have. Look, I went through everything. You know?
Yeah.
And I moved through it with like correcting the blockage. And that is the aim of Chinese medicine. The aim of Chinese medicine is to give us the means to free blockages. That's how Chinese medicine differs to Western medicine. Western medicine corrupts the blockage and puts a Band-Aid over and says, go home, everything will be fine, as long as you take the drug.
Yeah.
In Chinese medicine, okay, this blockage, this pain, this symptom you have because of blockage in the large intestine meridian, I'm going to give you these herbs. These herbs will free the blockage. You will start elevating. These breathing techniques will keep the blockage open and the free flow generated. And this herb will continue doing this. Yeah. So you learn more and more and more. After a while, you know exactly what foods to take. And this is the next thing I want to talk about today. It's about what are the foods that generate hope and what are the foods that make you lose hope.
Oh, I'm stoked. I can't wait for this.
So first of all, we got to be aware, like when we talk hope, when we talk about hope, we talk about lung and large intestine. We talk about metal element, metal energy. Yes. So first thing is sugar corrodes metal.
Okay. Yep.
Yes, it's a fact. Like sugar corrodes metal. If you want to corrode metal, just give it some sugar. It will destroy the whole thing. Yeah. So sugar is like sugar destroys teeth. Sugar destroys everything. Yeah. So we're talking the white sugar. We talk the sugar that is used, that is added to food, not the natural sugar from within. We need the sugars, obviously, but the universe has put sugar together with other ingredients and elements so they balance each other. In the Western sciences, they isolated the sugar as an isolated compartment. And of course, now it's a free radical. It goes havoc. It causes havoc. Yeah. But if you take the sugar that is within a sweet potato, it has got other ingredients in there which make the sugar balance. So it moves it so it won't attack you. So we never isolate anything. So the first thing is we need to understand if we eat sugar, we lose hope. So what happened with COVID when we had the lockdown? Sugar consumption went through the roof.
Yeah, really, yeah, probably.
Sugar consumption.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Netflix binging and sugar consumption. Now they've got a new TV show. It's called a station. It's called Binge. Now you can binge all day. Maybe an IV intravenous injection of sugars. Yes, I don't have to go to the fridge anymore. Yeah. So what happened in lockdown is people didn't get motivated because you were not at the office. We talked about it in one of the talks right at the beginning, how contact with people is necessary for chi to move. Yeah. So I talked about the handshake, how the handshake is important. Yeah. The handshake makes heart fire moving, like because it got pericardium 8 here. Every time you shake someone's hand, you make chi flow. Every time you hug someone, you make chi flow. And now obviously social distancing caused all the problems by not having chi flow. It stopped chi flow. So now you were at home and in order to have the chi flow, you use sugar. People use sugar. And now you have like obviously lots of sugar binges all throughout the day, but the sugar corrodes the metal element. And what happens now is obviously it constricts the flow of the chi, and after a while we're getting the messages that the economy is collapsing. Now we have no hope at all. So it's a result of the lifestyle that came with lockdown that we are 2 months later, due to the lifestyle of having too many sugars and binging, that we have now, that we are all in a hopeless state. It's a natural consequence. We talked about it right at the beginning that, and it will induce a hopeless state. And that's exactly what we see now. So the clouds are coming down, the density is going lower and lower and lower. There's no hope about the future. It's because sugar corrodes metal. Yeah. So the first thing we need to understand is we got to have, obviously, in order to promote hope, we need to have the foods in our life that actually that open up the lungs. And I'm going to run through some foods that open up your lungs. Cool. The first food that we use in order to moisten the lung and to open up the lung is cabbage. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Garlic, nutmeg, and pepper, and fresh ginger. These are all foods that benefit the lungs, that moisten the lung, therefore open up the qi in the lungs.
What were they again? Sorry, cabbage, garlic, ginger. I missed
garlic, pepper, fresh ginger. And ideally, obviously, in Chinese medicine, we talked about it in a few sessions ago. Ideally, you always cook everything, a stir fry, yeah. Or you can make a broth, like where you like a really nice broth with where you took coriander, fennel, radish, leek, celery, onions, and cabbage and pepper and nutmeg, and let it simmer. Make a soup from it.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful in winter.
Put some mustard seeds in there. And then when you have it, have some red wine with it.
Yeah.
Red wine opens up the lung. Red wine promotes hope in Chinese medicine.
Well, interestingly, red wine has anti-strep and pneumonia and E. coli properties.
Yeah, it's got a lot of really, like in Chinese medicine, we look at wine as medicine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, not if you drink a whole bottle every night. It's not such. I'm not a vegetarian, by the way.
Yeah.
It's a personal choice. Everyone has to find this out for themselves. Yeah.
Yep.
And so this is something you have to. Vegetarianism that comes up on a regular basis in this line of work. I tried it myself for many years. It didn't work. Yeah. And so if it works for you, do it. If it doesn't work for you, you're not meant to be. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's not something that you have personal choice over. It's your body. Even the Dalai Lama needs to consume meat on a regular basis. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he's the man who is not keen. I'm not keen on eating meat either, but if I stop eating meat, I can't do my work. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I lose my energy. So I don't know why that is. I've been trying to understand vegetarianism versus meat eating for almost 40 years, and I can't get my head around it, what's going on. Yeah. Mm-hmm. As Chinese medicine, it's all about Jing. We can talk about it next week because Jing is a really interesting property, yeah. And that's the life force. So some people have the ability to generate the life force without meat. Other people need meat in their diet. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the only person who can find that out and can know that is the person themselves.
Yeah. Test it totally.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we talk about the foods that benefit the lungs, which means the foods that promote hope, we talk cabbage, nutmeg, pepper, fresh ginger, onions, leek, celery. I can email it to you so you can pass it on. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, well, I've caught all of these so far. I'll put them in the chat box.
Yeah, and because like mustard seeds, for example, like if you cook with mustard seeds, you can tell your breathing opens up. Yeah. Mm. Mm. So if you consider like a nice meal, like a beautifully cooked meal, just imagine just cook the cabbage in wine with garlic and you're putting some protein sauce in there, whatever your protein sauce is, and you put turnips in there, and cinnamon is another really powerful, and fennel. All that, if you eat it, you automatically feel at home. Mm. Yes? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
you always feel good after a great meal.
Yeah, so if you would have that in comparison to a pizza, you got the yummy effect, but it's more like a drug experience rather than actually benefiting the body. Mm. Yeah. So the pizza is a drug. Is like a drug, and the chocolate mud cake is like a drug. But the food, what I'm talking about, is like benefiting the body. So we want to benefit the body. Yeah. So if you want to have a chocolate cake afterwards, yes, you understand that you obviously impair the hope promoting function. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. People are saying they're going shopping after this. You're making us all hungry.
Yeah, it's so important. Yeah. It's so important. The next thing is in Chinese medicine, we always work with grain. So obviously this is where in the Western sciences, a lot of people are anti-grain. Chinese medicine is always pro-grain. And every grain has got an impact on your organs, like the rye has got an impact on your spleen and liver function.
Mm-hmm.
The grain that impacts on the lung, that therefore promotes hope, is the grain made from hemp.
The grain made from hemp?
Yes, hemp bread.
Hemp bread, yeah, okay, yep.
Hemp bread is absolutely yummy. So you buy that in Salt's Bakery and a lot of other new age bakeries that offer hemp bread these days. And so hemp bread it moistens your lung, it opens up your lung, it benefits your lung. So you automatically get like so it promotes hope.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
So that's probably why a lot of people, like in the 60s, when they talk about marijuana, it's like the drug to open up to the new. It's because the hemp acts on the lung. And in Chinese medicine, we use hemp in order to open up the lung.
Mm.
So that means from the psychological perspective, it promotes hope. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's where the connection is coming into. Yeah.
I actually heard a crazy statistic that I haven't verified, but it was when I was looking into CBD and cannabis and, as a medicinal stuff. But I attended a few lectures and watched a few documentaries. And one of the stats that jumped in my head that I remember was like that people that smoke cannabis, but there was a particular type of way. I think it was vaporizing cannabis. It wasn't like a normal sort of smoke, but they actually had lung cancer rates on average with the population, like with non-smokers. It was ridiculous. Like it just made no sense. But yeah, it was a pretty odd statistic. So yeah, obviously it does have a big impact on that.
Yeah. I mean, the first the culture, the Chinese is the first culture in the world that cultivated marijuana for therapeutic purposes. We're going back 4,000 years ago.
Mm.
So 2,000 years ago, it was part of their medicine. Yes, so they obviously used hemp seeds. They used all kind of stuff.
Yeah, I love hemp seeds and hemp oil. Awesome.
One of the most famous physicians, he lived around 600 AD. He worked extensively with hemp. Okay. And he was pretty much like provided the basis for what we now understand as chiropractic sciences, because he worked with the science, with the spine. And he was also a Taoist, an alchemist. And obviously, Taoists and alchemists don't buy into what other people believe. They look at what works and what doesn't work. They don't buy into dogma. So if they discover something that hemp is beneficial for your organ function, they're going to use it. They don't go into the legal aspects of it.
Yeah. They're not looking for.
It's all about elevating. We don't like the people of the lower density trying to control the elevation. That's the fact. Yeah. So if all the politicians would do Qigong practices every day and they would do lots of breathing techniques every morning before they go to parliament, we would have a different government. Yeah. Instead, they're working like 24/7 and that is completely, their lung is so obstructed. You can tell.
Yeah, they're burnt out and yep.
It's not they're not a role model of chief flow.
Yeah, totally. I hear you. Yeah.
And of course, all what you see is this drama.
Yeah, I really take that into account when I vote. Actually, is I have a good look at the person.
Yeah,
what sort of lifestyle do they live? Like are they healthy?
Yeah, some of them look like they're going to blow up soon.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. All right. Well, look, that's been heaps of great info again today, Jost. I really appreciate it. Did you have any other words of wisdom you wanted to let us know about before we start to wrap up? I'm going to put your links. I put your website links in the chat box again, as well as your Facebook page, so people can go and watch that video on the breathing practices to do that properly. Again, we've got people coming in and say, "Hey, thanks so much, Jost, for these talks." A lot of people are really appreciating the information, Jost. It's been really good. Again, if you do want to learn more about ASEA, then please, and the Redox that Jost has been talking about, we chat about, please go back to the person that invited you, and get some information, because there's videos, there's different presentations, there's all sorts of things that you can see to learn about that. And also Jost sells the Chinese herbs on his website and things like that as well. And I've been using them for a couple of months, and I've been really, really enjoying them. It's been great. So yeah, thanks for that too, Jost. Any final words of wisdom before we wrap up?
Just simple, like the most important job we have right now is, because the climate is so heavy, the clouds are so low, is de-obstruct your own blockages. Take lots of supplement, Chinese herbs, do the breathing techniques, take Redox signaling, take ASEA, and you will help the planet.
Yeah, that's right. Shine your brightest, right? Be your best, and you're going to be a positive impact on the planet. I do love, like, and maybe it's just the fact that, you know, I live on Bribie, and you know, Bribie is a little bit of a different community. It's not like a suburb in Brisbane, you know. But I go out and then there's people exercising everywhere, and you know, I think that's actually a really good side effect of the COVID. I see a lot more people taking a more active interest and responsibility in their health, so that's been cool for me to watch.
Yeah, that's definitely a good thing. That's, I believe, is the good thing from the whole development of the last few months, because we've got no choice. And in particular, when I hear people on a regular basis say, "I don't know what to do anymore. It's far beyond my input." No. It's not the job of the politicians anymore. It's the job of us now.
Yeah.
You know, the era of the politician is gone. It's finished, and we moved into a new era. And the governing of the people from within, that's the future. And so we're moving into some kind of new reality in that regard. And that means, first of all, take care of your health, like take charge of your health, get strong, get fit, get happy. You automatically will build a great society.
Yeah, absolutely. Love your work, Jost. You're amazing. Now, next week, unfortunately, Nicole and I are going to be away. We're going to be up in the mountains. So we not going to have any internet. So we'll have to skip a week. I apologize, everyone. But give it 2 weeks and we'll be back, same place. And sounds like maybe we'll talk about Jing or some other great topic that we want to share with you. And as always, Jost, super grateful. There's heaps of comments coming in. Just there, lots of people are just loving what you got to offer. Thank you for being a beacon of light yourself, mate. You really are inspiring.
We all the light.
Goodbye, everyone. Catch you in a fortnight.
Goodbye.